Hey, what's going on? NorCal Rifleman here. In this video here, I'll be showing you guys how to install a Midwest Industries Combat Series handguard. This is the T series they have. Pretty much it's a quad rail all the way around. It's a one piece. It is a free floating handguard, so it should be pretty good with this build here. I've always wanted to have a quad rail just like this. I did want to get the Riz 2, but for the money, half the price, this is a pretty solid deal. It's built well, super light actually for a quad rail. It's not too bad, and installation is pretty simple. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate. So right off the bat, when you open up the box, you get the handguard obviously, and the handguard will have the barrel nut inside. It will have these two screws that secure the handguard to the barrel nut, and the torque plate that goes right here in the middle. Then you throw the screws in there, securing the handguard. You will also get, you actually get two stickers, so if you're a sticker guy, it's pretty cool. You also get the torque wrench tool here to do your barrel nut torquing. It's not like I said torquing, but I said torquing, just so you know. And yeah, I think that's it. So obviously, you get the barrel nut as well. Really important, you want to go ahead and degrease the outside of the barrel nut and the inside of the handguard here prior to installing it. It does come with oil, so make sure you get all the oil off of there. It also says in the instructions, so don't take my word for it. Another thing you want to do, which I went on and did prior to the video, is the threads here for the upper receiver require for you to put some kind of anti-seize grease. If it's a old build, you might still have some in there, but for the sole purpose of doing everything right, I went on and wiped off the old grease and threw some new grease on there, on the threads, and on the neck of the barrel where it makes contact with the upper receiver threads to keep it from seizing. So yeah, it's just like spark plugs. You don't want to just install bare spark plugs. You want to put some anti-seize on there because it gets pretty hot. So yeah, before I got started with the video, I actually went on and loosened up the barrel nut and loosened up the set screws for my gas block here to save some time. So you want to start off by removing those two. Everybody's setup is different, so that's why I didn't really want to show that part, because what's different, what I have for me might be different for you, for your setup. So pretty much, yeah, just go ahead and remove the gas block, set it aside, remove the barrel nut, set it aside. So again, you want to go ahead and throw some kind of anti-seize grease on the threads of the upper receiver and on the neck right here where it makes with the barrel. The collar, I forgot what it's called, like the collar or something like that, but you want to put some grease all around there as well, and it should be good to go. I'm not sure what this little ring right here is. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's like some kind of like really thin metal ring. It was on there. It's really thin. It looks like some kind of, I'm not sure if it's to provide some kind of shim or some sort or whatever, but it's pretty thin, and I don't think it'll have any problems if I leave it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there, because if you know what it is, go ahead and comment, let me know what it is. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. Maybe it's to keep the barrel nut from seizing to the barrel here or something like that. Maybe that's what it's for. So I'll leave it on there. Can't hurt anything, I'm sure. So really important, you want to make sure the barrel is seated all the way. The top of the barrel will have a little cylinder that pops out of there. You want to make sure it's in the notch on the upper receiver threads, and you want to make sure it's pushed all the way back so get a pretty solid contact. So once you've done that, you pretty much are good to go. Remember to grease the outside of the barrel nut. And the way that this guy goes in there is just like this. See these notches right here? Those go facing the muzzle. So this end right here, upper receiver, this end, muzzle. So go ahead and throw it in there. Start threading it in. This is not an old build, so I'm not gonna season the threads, but you know, if you want to season yours, you can. Seasoning is pretty much like, you pretty much torque the barrel nut to, some people do it 35 pounds, some people do it to all the way, whatever torque requires, like a few times, 2-3 times. And then at the end, they do one final torque of whatever the specification is. So in this case, 40 pounds, obviously. So yeah, but for the sole purpose of, you know, this video, I won't be doing that because this is not an old build. So I think it'll be fine. So you want to hand tighten it all the way in there till it's all the way as far as you could go. My shoulder just popped, getting old. And at this point, you want to put the torquing tool right in there at a 90-degree angle with the torque wrench. I've already went ahead and did some torquing on the knob here to 40 foot-pounds, so should be good to go. So yeah, this is how you want to do it. I mean, a lot of people online have different ways to doing it. Some people do it at a different angle, not necessarily like I'm doing. But I am following Midwest Industries guide, so I'll go ahead and do it like this. So once it's seated on there, you want to grab the top of the torque wrench here and just start torquing it. 40 foot-pounds. It's kind of unstable here. My bench wobbles a lot, but just make sure it's on there pretty good. You should be good to go until you hear the click. All right. You'll need to hear the click once. 40 foot-pounds. Just double check that that's the actual torque that I put on here. Yep, 40 foot-pounds, good to go. Well, it's locked in place too, so if you don't know how to use a torque wrench, go ahead and look up some videos. It'll show you how to do it. And after that, you know, should be pretty easy. I was kind of skeptical about it at first, you know, I've never done this before, but after seeing a lot of videos and stuff like that, I feel pretty confident. It's not rocket science, so I think I'm good. It's kind of weird looking down, being in front of the barrel like I am now, but hey, it's obviously it's safe, so it's just a funny feeling. So yeah, once you've torqued down your barrel nut, you know, installation here is pretty easy. After you've done that, you want to install your gas block. This is very important. Oh, just so you know, there's no like any kind of alignment needed with this kind of barrel nut. It's just goes in there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. No need to align it so you could fit your gas block through there. So install your gas block on there. Very important that you line up the gas block correctly. Or else your gun won't cycle correctly. If it helps doing some kind of marks before you remove anything, I suggest doing that. But mine was pretty much centered just the way it is right now prior to removing it. So yeah, once it's in there, you want to torque down the set screws here. I'm not sure on the specifications. I probably will be looking it up and doing that. This is a Aero Precision low profile gas block, by the way. I'm just trying to match what I had prior to me loosening them up. So yeah, it should be good. Oh, actually, you know what? Some of these you might have to torque down the rear screw first because it'll give you a better guide from what I've seen to lining it up correctly. So I'll go ahead and torque down the rear screw first. I almost forgot. You want to make sure you're aligned prior to finishing up. Let's make sure this guy is torqued down. And then you move on to the front one. You'll know if you did this right when you go out and shoot. You know, if your gun cycles like it was before, you're good to go. If it doesn't cycle correctly, then you probably misaligned the gas block. Or if you don't tighten the screws up correctly, then your gas block will come loose. So once that's set, you want to grab your handguard here. And you're just going to slide it in all the way to the back. This is a pretty cool handguard because it has some anti-rotational tabs on the back. So that'll keep it from rotating on you if it comes loose for whatever reason. But this is a pretty solid lockup, so I don't believe that'll happen. Let's see. It mates pretty good with the upper receiver. Nice and straight. So you want to make sure it's all the way to the back. It seems to be pretty solid. So after that, I think you're good. So pretty much at that point, you could go ahead and wonder how this little guy goes. One end seems to be longer than the other one. I wonder if it only goes in one way. You know, yeah? It only goes in one way. Because the way I'm trying to install it right now, holes aren't lining up, so the long side goes to the back, just like this, drops right in. So yeah, after this, just throw your screws in there. And I believe the torque on this little screws are not foot-pounds, obviously, they're gonna be inch-pounds. So you wanna use an inch-pound torque wrench for these, and these are only 40 inch-pounds. I have my Wheeler fat wrench that I'll be using to torque these guys down. I should have probably said torque on that prior to the video, but anyways, I might just torque them down later. I'm just gonna go ahead and install them for the sole purpose of time. Just tighten them up a little bit, you know. So that's pretty much it at this point. Once you torque these two bolts down, you're good to go. So at this point, you know, you could reinstall your muzzle device. I want to torque this guy down later. Looks pretty solid. And having a vise definitely helps a lot, guys, so I highly suggest you guys invest in one if you can. And seems to be pretty solid already. Yeah, not a whole lot of wiggle or anything. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove the upper from the vise. See what it looks like on the lower. Throwing the bolt carrier in there. Maybe I should throw the charging handle in there first and then the bolt carrier, huh? This is the Radiant Raptor charging handle, Aero Precision, nitrited, oh, wrong one. Aero Precision nitrited bolt carrier, pretty slick. Cool. So grab the lower, slap it on there, see what it looks like. Wow. Night and day difference for sure. Let's try the QD mount right here on the side. It only has one, so seems pretty solid. Wow, yeah, this definitely looks a lot better than I expected it to be. Yeah, it looks pretty clean. It's a pretty good look for this build here. I mean, nice little quad rail with a pretty fat muzzle device. The muzzle device is a GunTech USA slip over muzzle brake. It pretty much slips over the barrel a little bit and you keep threading it, and it actually has some holes that work as a brake. So not only is it a little cool, but it actually has some kind of function to it. So yeah, you know, the ultimate test after you've installed it is go out to the range, fire some rounds down range to see if everything cycles correctly. But yeah, other than that, you know, I think this should be good to go. Cool. So for this build here, the optic that I'll be throwing on there is this 6-hour Tango MSR. It's a 106 by 24 LPVO. Should be a pretty sweet little optic for this. It was already on there before, so I mean, obviously anytime you remove something, you have to go and zero the optic in again. Maybe you won't be too far off if you mount it right in the same spot where you took it out from, but you will have to zero this in again. So yeah, there it is. Yep, looks really good to me. can't even tell much of a difference in weight either, because this rail is not much heavier than the Atlas R1 that I took off from there. So it's not too bad. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching. You know, go ahead and comment, like, subscribe if you like. I'll be trying to do more videos like this, you know, and help out whoever is, you know, trying to do their own thing, just like me. Again, Midwest Industries does have instructions to install this handguards of theirs. If you don't feel confident, go ahead and watch their video, you know, and they have a lot of good pointers. But yeah, everything lines up correctly. The anti-rotational tabs are definitely a plus. So that's pretty good. Alright, thanks for watching.